Hello everybody, here we are today and we're going to be doing a video covering the Shane Pinto suspension, the kind of backstory to that from what we know now, and my thoughts on sports betting. So before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So today around 12:30, the NHL announced that Pinto would be receiving a 41-game suspension, half-season suspension for sports online betting. From what we know right now, the NHL has said we are aware that there is a lot to this. We do know that he didn't place bets on NHL games, and there is enough to suspend him for half the season. The Ottawa Senators said that they were aware of the situation, obviously weren't happy about it, but we're hoping that Shane could move forward from this and, kind of build on to the next phase. Shane himself, I think, has released a statement basically saying he's aware of what happened and obviously let his family down, let the fans down, etc., etc. And this is where things get weird. Because from what we understand, the NHL said, well, he didn't place any bets on NHL games, and the Senators saying that they're aware of the situation too, and not saying what it is, leaves us wondering what it could be. From what I understand, NHL players are allowed to place bets on other leagues. They just aren't allowed to place bets on NHL games. I don't know. Is there something in there where you can't place bets on CHL games, or something on AHL, whatever the case may be? I couldn't tell you at the moment because I'm not really aware on the policy, but here we are in a situation where Pinto, a younger guy, RFA, that didn't sign a deal with the Senators at the start of the year because of cap issues, is not going to get to play till January. The Senators would have loved to have been able to sign him at the beginning of the year. 20 goals, 15 assists, 35 points last season in a third line role for them. And I think we're kind of hoping that he would be able to take a step forward and help this team get to the playoffs again. Instead, because of whatever is going on now, they're going to have to wait until January to get to see him play, assuming that they do sign a deal with him. I'm sure they will, but it is a situation nonetheless for Ottawa fans. It doesn't really feel good as the Sens look to make the playoffs for the first time since 2017. And things are just so weird right now too, because from what I'm understanding, there was a third party involved that was likely making or placing bets for Pinto, and that's where it kind of gets interesting because, okay, he is going to have somebody else place the bets, but they're not NHL games. What could get you suspended for half a season to where you don't even try to fight it? And when are we even going to figure out what this story is? The reality is it might take some time because right now we're not really hearing from any news sources indefinitely about what is happening, or I should say definitively about what is going down and what occurred. I don't really know, but I am aware that this is a rising problem. You're seeing a lot of this in the NCAA college football, you're seeing this in the NFL, and now you're seeing it in the NHL. Sports betting is at a point where it is again affecting the sports that they cover, which is so ironic and kind of leads me into what I want to talk about with sports betting. I'm somebody that really feels that sports betting in and of itself necessarily isn't a problem. It is the fact that it can get out of hand real quick, and the fact that they are constantly shoving advertisements down our throats. You see it on social media, you see it on TV ads, you see it in games, on promotions. It's annoying. We have even seen Ottawa have a sports betting company or organization, whatever you want to call them, be the sponsor for their helmet ad a couple of years ago, and we're at a spot right now where it is so ironic to see the league just bring in all this money and then a player get in trouble for betting. Now, don't get me wrong, I am aware of the fact that players probably, well, they did get in trouble for betting before this occurred, but you're in a spot now where we're likely going to see an increase in suspensions for players that are placing bets in the modern era, because it is so easy to do sports betting now. And I think that's kind of the situation where, again, it is ironic. The league is pushing so hard to get money from these sports betting companies, and we are seeing the drawbacks of it. And I gotta say, in general, I would never sponsor any of these companies. I know I don't have any sponsors now, and this channel is obviously still, small by some other channels' accounts, but I look at it like this. If it's not something you would personally do or promote, you shouldn't do it, in the sense of as a sponsor. And these companies, man, they do not care at all. The times economically right now are just so hard. You're seeing a channel like Post to Post Productions, who is a nice guy that seems to have a pretty nice job from what I remember last time he talked about his job. He is having to sell jerseys just to pay for rent, and the cost of living increasing, and it's just, it makes me mad. You can hear me just not even being able to get a thought out right now. And it's because these companies could care less. They want you to lose. Obviously, it's the same way that everything works. As long as they just have one person get rich and be able to say, hey, this happened to this guy that was a normal guy, worked a normal job, here he is, and look at what he's been able to get by betting on games. And guess what? They are totally going to take advantage of people that have addictions. Yes, they'll post things saying, oh, there are chances that you will get an addiction from gambling, or be aware of the fact that you can have a gambling addiction. They don't care. It's the same way that you see some companies that promote stuff that aren't good for you, especially look at tobacco companies. They were trying to cover up the fact that it wasn't good for you back in the day. But if they can just promote their brand and just quickly brush all that stuff under the rug, they're going to do that. So it's kind of my gripe with sports betting and what we see. It's one of those situations where you got to be careful who's paying your bills. And in the NHL, we have some companies that really I don't agree with that are paying big bucks. And the NHL is just opening their arms out wide, welcoming them in. And we are seeing some of the repercussions of that. Again, sports betting wouldn't have just stopped because the NHL said no. But the NHL is just one of those deals where this is going to be a reoccurring problem in the future. And I'm kind of curious to see if we will have more suspensions even by the end of the year. Those are my quick thoughts on the situation. Again, I really don't know what's going on with Pinto and what all went down, so we will keep an eye out for that. Do you think that it's kind of hypocritical that the league is suspending him right now with the way that they've been embracing the sports betting companies? Do you think that sports betting should just be banned entirely? I don't think many people are for that. Or do you think that they should just kind of be limited in how they can promote their product? Let me know down below in the comments, and let me know if Pinto will be able to bounce back from that this season. Anyway, everybody, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and you'll have all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.